Hey Narwhals, I'm your host Luke Narwhal, and today we're going to be reading Morbidly Obese Redditors. What are some daily struggles that you face that a slim person wouldn't know about? Watch until the end to see our featured Narwhals of the day, and be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more weight loss videos that help you stay on track. I'm morbidly obese, something I'm trying very hard to work on, and this thread is just giving me a lot of feelings. Seeing exactly how I feel put into words is absolutely heartbreaking. Some things I haven't seen yet on this thread and that I deal with on a regular basis: restaurant seating. I know people love booths because they're more comfortable, but my heart sinks a little anytime anyone in my group asks for one or we get directed to one. Just thinking about how I'm going to squeeze in between the bench and the table makes me really uncomfortable. Even more so once I realize I'm going to have to bend awkwardly and suck in every time I want to lean over to take a bite of food. Chairs anywhere. Whenever I see a chair with armrests, I get really uncomfortable. Most of the time, this means my thighs aren't going to fit into that chair and I'm going to have to sit on the very edge of it, which gets painful after so long. Schools are the worst. I almost dropped out of college because of those desks where the table is attached to the chair. My stomach is big enough that the table digs into it, and I'm usually in pain after about 5 minutes of trying to sit in them. I have a very Asian build, so I have short, stocky, wide legs. This means that my thighs rub together a lot. I also have terrible skin. That doesn't really clear up as much as I'd like even on a healthy diet, and this means my inner thighs are prone to boils. This makes it very, very difficult to walk because they hurt so much. If I'm really unlucky, the boils will appear somewhere where the pain can be felt even if I sit down. This discouraged gym visits a lot. It's hard to find motivation to go and work out when you can't even walk 20 feet without wanting to cry. I'm 29 years old, 5'5" and 300 pounds. I was actually quite thin, 130 pounds my entire life, up until my lupus diagnosis in my teens. I had dangerously low platelets and was put on high doses of steroids to even out my blood work. In 8 months, I gained 150 pounds plus, and though my blood work was fixed, my disease felt like it was in overdrive. It felt like I lost my body and my life in just under a year. My immune system was trying to kill me, and the side effects from my various medications were just as bad as the symptoms of my autoimmune disease: weight gain, teeth deterioration, retinal toxicity, hair loss, bone loss, cognitive issues. Throughout my 20s, I managed to lose 100 pounds twice, but as soon as my lupus flared up, I just put the weight back on. It's hard enough to lose weight as a semi-healthy individual, but as a significantly sick person, it felt almost impossible. I'm right back at my highest weight right now after I went back to being sedentary due to heart issues, caused by the lupus, not the weight. Every time I tried to be active, my heart would skip beats, I couldn't breathe, my BP would drop down, and I would start to pass out. It feels like the one thing I was supposed to count on, a strong, young, healthy body, betrayed me. These should have been the most amazing and active years of my life, but instead I'm being ushered from doctor to doctor, hospital to hospital, just to be told we can't help you. Every single thing in my life is so much harder than it should be. I miss old me so much. I look back on pictures before my diagnosis and I mourn that happy, amazing girl. But I will never give up trying to lose this weight and trying to be a healthier, happier person. Even when I am thinner, I will still be sick, but I won't let that stop me. I want my life to be easier and happier, and I don't want my disease to dictate every aspect of my life. I will say one thing that will always be difficult about being obese is the judgment from others. I'm less of a person in many people's eyes, just a burden and a disgusting thing that takes up space. I'm not that. I'm a wonderful person. I have a life with a great husband, a lot of amazing friends, and I'm worth something, whether I'm fat or not. That self-worth and confidence is actually what made it possible to lose 100 pounds twice so far, and it's going to be the thing that takes it off and keeps it off this time. I was morbidly obese, over 310 pounds at 5'7", almost had a BMI of 50. It wasn't fun. The shin pains were the worst. All the weight pushing down on me made my shins feel like they were on fire and about to snap as soon as I started walking. I remember once walking to buy a new video game the day of release and had to stop halfway in the rain and sit to take the weight off my feet as people went past staring at me. I couldn't walk. I was in way too much pain, so just had to sit there getting soaked until I could walk again. The sweating. The smallest activity made me sweat to death. Even walking down the road 30 seconds away would make me soaking wet with sweat. I used to stink pretty bad, had to change shirts constantly, and went through so much deodorant. The judgmental stares, people staring at you, judging you for the way you looked, it made me feel horrible and really killed my confidence. The horrible comments people make. I remember going into a clothes store and bringing a top to the cashier and he said, "Are you sure that will fit?" or something along those lines. That knocked me hard. When people gave you clothing gifts for your birthday or Christmas and asked you to try it on there in front of them, that panic of whether or not the item will fit is hell. Thinking if this doesn't fit, you're going to be incredibly embarrassed. The lack of interest from the opposite mechs. Not many girls want to date a guy that weighs over 300 pounds and you'll almost always get knocked back. I somehow managed to start seeing a girl that was nearly 3 times lighter than me, and my weight made things awkward. We'd try to go on walks, and I'd be covered in sweat and sore, gasping for breath. We couldn't really do many of the things she liked to do, which made me feel horrible, and I know I annoyed her. It made dates awkward, and it just wasn't great. Not being able to see your banana. The struggles of finding something that fits. One store had an extra large top that would fit great, then another store would have an extra large top that was way too small. It cost so much money, and I ended up wearing a lot of the same things over and over. All of this wasn't fun. It destroyed my confidence, made me feel like crap, and made me hate life. I was eating like 8,000 calories and more a day. I was sleeping until 6 or 7 p.m. each day, and I was so unhealthy. I did manage to turn it around and lose most of it. I dropped to around 140 pounds, 10 stone, but I still do struggle with my weight and keeping it off and tend to gain 10 or 15 pounds and then drop it again over and over. But I would rather be the 159 pounds I am now than the 300 pounds feeling like there was no way out of that hell. Being worried that you won't fit into a booth in a restaurant, having to bend over to get something but not being able to squat like an average person because of your belly, fitting in airplane seats and having the seatbelts close, and the extreme stress of going to an amusement park and having to explain why you aren't going on rides, or boarding the ride and getting booted because the restraints don't close. That in addition to the regular self-esteem issues. I've lost 50 pounds in the last year, and it really shocks me how much of a difference losing just 15% or so of my total body weight has made. The first 2 points on this list are no longer a concern. Airplanes and amusement parks are as of yet untested. I classify as morbidly obese, 5'3", 260 pounds. Like others have said, we're usually pretty hard on ourselves. I have a hormonal and metabolic disorder, so even with doing all the right things, it takes me much longer to see results. I was bullied all through high school and pretty much known as the fat one amongst my group of friends. I get super anxious in social situations because I don't want everyone to refer to me as the fat one. I constantly think about how most people only see my weight and probably assume I'm lazy, I eat terribly, etc. I'm actually an active person. I work out 6 days a week. I don't have a desk job. I'm an EMT. I'm working on changing, but a lot of times I feel like it's not enough, and I want to give up so badly. In fact, yesterday I took a huge hit to my self-esteem when one of my coworkers put a brochure for plastic surgery on my windshield that supposedly specializes in getting rid of that double chin and freezing off your fat. Apparently, even in my 30s, I'm still getting bullied. Finding clothes that not only fit you somewhat properly, but cute clothes. I still want to wear a pretty dress that isn't in my grandma's style. Mechs. Mechs is awkward as hell. I am a big girl, 5'11", 225, and being on top, doggy, etc. is awkward and embarrassing. I don't want my man to see me bend over with my saggy stomach hanging, watching my rolls bounce more than my small chest. It's even worse when your bum is big and you have to spread the thighs and butt cheeks for it to feel better. My boyfriend is incredible and always makes me feel beautiful and never feel bad about myself, but the looks I get when we are out, he's 6'1", a solid muscle man of 210, makes me cry inside. I'd also like to say that this thread totally broke my heart. I hate that so many of you feel the things I feel. I want to hug you all and tell you that you're all beautiful. And wow, those were some sad stories today, but that brings us to the featured narwhals of the day, where hopefully we'll find a little positivity. If you'd like to be a featured narwhal, just head on over to our subreddit, r/loserNarwhals. The link is in the description below. Our first featured narwhal of the day is Bethany Ann, and they say, "I've lost 62 pounds. It gets easier, I promise." Our last featured narwhal of the day is KMA, and they say, starting weight 270, current weight 179, goal weight 125, intermittent fasting on and off for about 18 months. The first picture wasn't at my heaviest, just the only photo that I have when I was closest to my heaviest, lol. I was about 245 to 250 there. Thank you so much for sharing, Narwhals. If you're still watching, you're one of the few Narwhals who made it to the end of this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more weight loss videos that help you stay on track. And sign up to become a VIP Narwhal at lukenarwhal.com for our merch giveaway coming really soon. Thanks for watching, Narwhals, and I'll see you in the next one.